Want to support Toon Talk Weekly? Head on over to patreon.com/Toon Talk Weekly to learn more and help Toon Talk grow. We want to thank everyone for your support in making Toon Talk Weekly truly awesome. This is Toon Talk Weekly, episode 100. That's right, guys, 100 episodes of Toon Talk Weekly. We're doing a video show this time, and we're covering the cartoon Star versus the Forces of Evil.
My two besties are gonna be besties! Sweet, let's go! Dimensional scissors? Ah, jealous! Wait, we're going to another dimension?
Glitter. She was here.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Toon Talk Weekly. It is Tuesday. What would we do other than talk about cartoons? And this is a little weird. I guess I should start with, I'm Jake Williams.
I'm Brad Chmielewski.
And this is that weekly cartoon show that we do, but now we're in video.
Yeah, there's a video format for anyone that's not watching. So
Right.
You could still listen to it.
You're probably listening to this the normal way that you typically do, and we thank you for that.
And they're like, what are they talking about? This is the same show I hear every week.
Wait, this is the people listening.
Yeah. It's like, you guys are just being weird. Just start
They're not-
stupid show.
They're not like, what? Where is it? I don't know where the video is. They're not quite sure. If you're listening in your car, don't turn on the video. Just keep listening on audio. It's way easier that way. But welcome into Toon Talk Weekly. This is episode 100.
Whoa, oh my God. That's crazy.
So what is crazy about it? The fact that we found that many cartoons,
No, that's
or that we're still going?
that we're still going. It's easy to find 100. We can find 100 more, no problem, and probably never get to some of those big name ones we haven't even done yet.
I would say there's at least once a week where I go, dude, this is a cartoon. Look at this.
Yeah.
Like, you have to see this. And it's ridiculous. So you find a lot of, there's all these listicles out there of like top 10 shows from the 80s you didn't know existed. And you're right, I didn't, and I didn't need to. But I have a podcast, so I'm going to have to cover them at some
We
point.
came across the Jackson 5 cartoon this week.
Looks pretty sweet. So in the next 100, keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
It's probably going to happen. How you been, Brett? It's been a week.
Yeah, I've been fantastic.
I've been like secretly nervous about this show because the video thing is just totally different for me.
Right. So we're doing the video because it's episode 100. So we wanted to give you guys something special. And because we have video option as one of our Patreon rewards.
Yes.
That's like our, I think, second or third goal.
Yes. Yep.
Because it's a lot more work to do video. The setup is easy. It's
Yeah.
the editing and all that stuff.
Yeah, and over at patreon.com/Toon Talk Weekly, you can find out more information about our Patreon, but it's essentially a way for you guys to support the show. There's been a header at the top of maybe the last 20 episodes or something, basically saying, like, check out the Patreon. It sort of shows what we would like to do with the show, and actually it's probably the last time people saw our faces talking about cartoons here. So over at patreon.com/Toon Talk Weekly, there's more information on that. How's your week of cartoons been going?
It's been pretty good. You know, I've been watching Harvey Beaks, man.
I know, and I actually, since you brought it up last, I still have not watched the nightclub episode.
Oh, the nightclub episode's so good.
I've only heard a song from it.
Harvey's got his song. He like brings his own song to the nightclub and doesn't want to dance any other time until his song's on.
Right.
And then there's all this stuff about them not playing his song and and about friendship coming
It sounds
together.
great. But does it still have that? We talked a lot in our episode about Harvey Beaks, which is probably 3 or 4 episodes ago now, about how much soul that show feels like it has. Like, you feel like you are Harvey. Like, he feels like us as a little boy or something.
Yeah, you really care about the characters.
Right.
It's funny. And then I've been watching the other duck show, Breadwinners.
Keeping up on him.
I watched the episode where it's like the backstory of how Sway Sway and Baduk
Yeah. Oh, gosh. It was Sway Sway and Badooce.
met and how they became breadwinners together. So that was pretty good.
Were they like baby ducks and they met?
No, like.
Oh, you don't have to spoil it, I guess.
It's,
Yeah, at
it's a
that
good episode, so go check that out on Hulu.
Very cool. I have not caught up with either of those, and I'm a little disappointed because they've been 2 of my favorite recent shows that we've watched. However, I dove headfirst into the show that we watched this week, which was, let's be real, a little bit easy. There's only about 5 episodes out there, so it's not too hard to find. But this show is actually recommended I want to say like 2 months ago, I got an email over at toontalkweekly@gmail.com. And for anybody listening or watching even, you guys can email us over at toontalkweekly@gmail.com to let us know your cartoon recommendations or things that you might want to see. Sorry, unrelated to that email, I found another email that was old that somebody had recommended like 6 shows to us. And I was
Okay.
incredibly thankful. We've covered like half of them.
Oh,
and I totally
awesome.
forgot
Okay.
about it. So.
They got no shout out, but this one.
But
is
this
getting
one,
a
yeah.
shout out.
And this was sent in by Derpy the Pony 365 is the name in the email here. And don't laugh, that's a great name. That's awesome. 365 days of ponies. Why
Ponies,
not?
okay.
And this show is called Star versus the Forces of Evil. Brad, I'm going to ask you as I always do. Do you ever hear about this show? You ever heard of this?
I have not heard about this show, and
Mm-hmm.
I forget the name every time. Like
Yeah.
it's that Star show on Disney.
You just call it Star
Star.
at this point.
Princess Star. It's Rick and Morty mixed with Adventure Time.
Yeah, mixed with like Gravity Falls,
Yeah.
mixed with like there's so much stuff going on in this show, and I'm kind of shocked it's not bigger than it seems.
Because not only the plot is awesome, but the drawings and the artwork just look amazing. Like even Gravity Falls looks great. This somehow like even goes up a little bit more.
Right.
It's like, damn.
It has this nature to it, like if you've ever seen any of them, that's very bouncy, but in between, let's say you did like a lip sync, right? And typically you're animating between a couple of sound mouth shapes to have it happen. They have these really great comedic pauses or just excellent timing of making that transition happen. But also like the face will squish with it. It's like the attention to detail is amazing.
Yeah. Well.
And the show is a lot of fun. So this is Star versus the Forces of Evil. This is what we're watching this week. So if you guys want to catch up, pause a little video or the audio right now, and you can watch along with us in a way.
Probably on the Disney XD website. They might be there.
They're there, as well as I think on iTunes you can buy the season pass, which you get the whatever 5 episodes are up now.
And then whatever's to come in this season.
It's got to be more. It's about $30, which seemed like a lot for 5 episodes, but it is Disney, so I don't know what they charge for things at this point. So we watched season 1, episode 1B, which is called Party with a Pony.
Which is perfect because of who recommended
Derpy the Pony,
it.
of course. Yeah, it's probably why. Honestly. It's probably their favorite episode. Episode 1A, which I believe it's called Star Comes to Earth or something similar, gives you a little more backstory into Star the character, into Marco, who's the other protagonist that we see quite a bit here. And that really sets up the stage for what's going on. But then after that, anything's fair game. Dimensions, monsters, villains, anything can happen.
Right, which kind of brings it into the Rick and Morty idea where
Right.
they can go anywhere in Rick and Morty. Same thing with Star and Marco. They can go anywhere.
Now, when we did Rick and Morty, did we do the first episode?
No, I don't think
okay.
so. Maybe we did.
I feel like we did because there might have only been one at the time.
At the time, yeah, maybe.
And then you binged the entire,
so
entire
good.
thing.
July 26th, coming back.
Oh my gosh. Wait, you know that?
Yeah.
Amazing. I need to catch up. I'm way behind on that show. So a little bit of background into Star versus the Forces of Evil. And to you video watchers here, forgive me for looking down at my notes here. I don't have this all memorized, but this is a typical show when Brad and I are recording. So it's produced by Disney Television Animation, and we've covered a couple of their shows before. The series premiered on January 18th, 2015 on the Disney Channel, and then it also premiered on March 30th, 2015 on Disney XD. I'm sorry. Disney XD, I always forget. It's not their web presence, right?
I think it's its own channel. It's like Disney HD. Rather than Disney HD, they
Okay.
were like XD because it's extreme.
Do you think... I wonder if it extreme definition, extreme Disney. Do you think it's there? It feels like more of the current stuff is on Disney XD. Or like maybe experimental stuff, quote unquote.
Yeah, I think it's stuff they're trying. It's not like your class. It's not Mickey Mouse.
Sure, not the classic stuff,
Yeah.
right? Stuff that, like, that Disney's putting this on, so it should be pretty good. The show is actually created by Daron. It's Daron, which is spelled Darren.
All right.
Daron Nefcy, sorry, I'm getting hung up on this, who's a former storyboard artist on Wander Over Yonder, another great show, and Robot and Monster.
We haven't done either one of those shows, have we?
We haven't. It's definitely, I feel like we talked about Wander Over Yonder being produced. Like, that's how long we've been doing this show. And she's actually only the second woman to create an animated series for Disney Television Animation. And the first was actually Sue Rose, who created Pepper Ann.
Oh, Pepper Ann.
Wait, you're saying it as if like, oh yeah, we did.
We watched that Pepper Ann.
So that's kind of interesting, right?
That's
like
nuts,
the
yeah.
gap there, that was like 90s, and no other woman was able to or was accepted to create a show or whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. And this
Come on,
is
Disney.
amazing.
Step it up. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, what the heck? And of course, on February 12th, 2015, the series was renewed for a second season, I think before it even premiered on Disney XD.
Pepper Ann?
No, no, Star versus the Forces of Evil. And so the story of Star versus the Forces of Evil, which is quite the long title here, can be summed up as such, right? So Princess Star Butterfly, our main protagonist, is sent to planet Earth after she's kind of causing a ruckus back home. She's fighting monsters. She's not acting like your typical princess should, right? So she gets sent to Earth, and she ends up living with, or in the town of Echo Creek to live with the Diaz family. And that's where we meet Marco, who's the son of the family. Star and Marco end up battling with villains through the universe and in their high school with the ultimate goal of protecting her magical wand from the evil Ludo.
He's not very evil.
He's evil light. He's super evil, but like easily distracted.
Yeah.
He reminds me for some reason of Krang from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
A little bit, yeah.
Or like who's another like bumbling villain that
He's
like
basically an evil cat that's like,
Yeah.
oh, what? Oh, ball. Hold on.
He's like not Dr. Robotnik, but like Dr. Robotnik's stupid henchman evil.
Okay.
Like, right? Like they're bumbling and they're not quite with it. They get distracted easily and that sort of thing. So this sets up the premise of the story. We have some of the main characters to talk about here are Princess Star Butterfly, who's the magical teenage princess from an alternate dimension, the dimension of Muni. And she's the extreme opposite of what a princess typically is.
Yeah.
Like, she's a pretty tomboy, right? Like, she acts like a boy and she wants to, like, fight and gets overly excited all the time.
Yeah,
That's what
but
I
she
think
likes glitter and,
of. Puppies and kitties and
lots
yeah.
of pinks and, she's a girl in that way. So I wouldn't call her a tomboy.
I guess tomboy is not the right word that I'm looking for here. It's just, like, very much just not your proper princess.
Yeah, she's not
right?
proper. She's a teenager.
Yeah. None of us were.
Yeah. I was never a proper princess.
Oh, I was never a teenager. I would never admit that. We also have Marco Diaz, who's her partner in crime, who's the son of the Diaz family. He believes he's a bad boy, but really he's the most cautious, safe individual ever.
But he knows karate.
But he's really good at karate.
Not really. He's only a green belt with one stripe.
But he beats, in multiple episodes, villains from other worlds. That's good enough. They don't know what karate is.
Yeah,
they can't defend themselves.
They
at
haven't
that
had
point.
karate in that universe.
Yeah. We have Ludo, the main villain in this entire series, who's actually voiced by Alan Tudyk, who I always, he does a bunch of voices, but I always remember him as Steve the Pirate from Dodgeball.
Okay.
So that doesn't help you. He's like the
No.
pirate guy from the film Dodgeball. He's the primary antagonist. He's like a tiny little vulture sort of thing, right? That's kind of what he reminds me of, his crazy beak. He sits on a throne of giant pillows because he's not big enough to fit.
It needs to be comfy, man.
And he's going to be comfy. And then in this episode, we also have the character of Flying Princess Ponyhead, who is... It's not that she's her former best friend, but she's her best friend before she met Marco, in a way, right?
Yeah.
Before the cartoon happened, they were best friends.
She's a little sassy.
She's quite sassy. A little is like understating this here. So let's jump right into the episode, shall we? So again, the season 1, episode 1B. Why am I saying season 1? There's only one season. Party with a Pony is the episode we watched. So if you guys want to follow along,
Good title.
it's really great.
I feel like that could just be like, that's some like 9-year-old's birthday party, like who has like ponies and stuff. It's like,
Right.
Party with the ponies.
So just with the title alone, what did you think was going to happen?
I thought Princess Butterfly was going to basically throw a party for a bunch of ponies.
Oh, that's pretty good. I thought it was going to be a party that included a pony at the party.
Yeah, I thought there'd be more ponies.
It's there's not even a whole pony technically
not even a whole pony.
at this point.
There are 2 pony heads.
Right. So we begin the episode at the Diaz household, as many of these do, and it's actually a really great house because the backgrounds are brilliant. They're really colorful and a lot of fun. But she had cast this spell initially on the house to make her like a big room, and there's a big princess turret like smashed out of the house. The art is incredible. It's a lot of fun. So we begin at the Diaz household as Marco just finished making a plate of his super awesome nachos. And we get the sweet, like, Marco's super awesome nachos, like, title screen.
Right. Triangle food.
That she calls triangle food, which is hilarious. She's never seen nachos, which to us, nachos are delicious. Why have you never seen nachos? Before Star can actually try these, though, there's a knock at the door. Who could this be? Marco answers it, and it's Flying Princess Ponyhead, and he freaks out.
All right, Star. Feast your eyes on this. Marco's super awesome nachos. Triangle food. Yo, what up, home fries? Oh my gosh! Flying Princess Ponyhead! Oh, hello, Bee-Fly.
So this is literally a pony head, basically a unicorn head, because she does have like a wand head.
Let's be real, it's severed.
Yeah,
It's just clean
up.
cut.
Yeah. Just
Not in a
floating.
disgusting way, but just like it's just a floating head.
Yeah.
So wouldn't you be terrified as well?
Yeah, but I now have known Princess Butterfly, and I'd be like, all right.
We've seen some weird stuff already. You can kind of expect it. So Marco passes out basically, and behind him is Star, and notices like, oh, it's Flying Princess Ponyhead. Like it's my best friend, right? And so, what are you doing here? Like, how did you find me? Basically, Ponyhead basically wants to invite Star out to a night of fun. Doesn't really say why. Just wants to go have a good time. And Star wants to bring Marco along, but Ponyhead's not quite up on that idea.
Right, and does not like the idea that this is Star's new best friend.
Right.
But on Earth.
Yeah, I
but-
think there's this awkward scene here where Ponyhead is like, oh, he's your best friend. I thought I was.
Thought I was your best friend. This is bullshit. He sucks.
But unfortunately, I guess Ponyhead reluctantly agrees to bring him along. Because, you want to see your friend happy. So even if you don't want to hang out with that person, hey, you're gonna
And
bring
you might find a way to embarrass that other person or kill them. So I don't
Whoa.
get rid of them.
What?
Can only be one best friend.
What if it's different dimensions, though?
Nah. Your heart.
Brad's a cold individual. Nope. Only got heart for one best friend.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
If you give that necklace, it doesn't have two hearts on it that break
That's
apart.
true. It
It's
doesn't
only
break
one.
into 3 pieces.
No.
Oh my gosh. So I used to have one of those, by the way. It's hilarious. So Ponyhead has a pair of dimensional scissors. This is a really fun object or invention, I guess you want to call it, which I think was featured in the first episode with Ludo. This is how they get between dimensions. I think this is really clever. They pull out a pair of scissors, and you basically slice at the air, and a portal appears.
Yeah, I don't know how you define where you want to go. If
Right.
you just like think like, oh, I want to go to the club in dimension 582, and then you go.
Yeah, it seems sort of strange, but it's a cartoon. I'm not going to question it whatsoever. So we take these dimensional scissors, we cut open a portal, but as soon as this portal closes on Earth, another portal opens as the camera pans over, and 3 masked men pop out, right? And they see glitter on the ground. They I think they touch it as if they're investigating something, and they're like, she was here. Which is pretty obvious, right? If you see glitter, there was probably a pony nearby. You may...
Or a princess of some kind.
Of some kind, yeah, something fantastical at this point. These men have a really great character design, too, because they remind me of, like a version of, what do you want to call it? Lucha Libre, like wrestlers.
Yeah,
basically.
kinda, yeah.
That's what, they're a lot of fun. And their legs are little, like sticks. They're not full feet or anything. It's just, I don't know, it's a cool design. So the 3 arrive at the Bounce Lounge. This is where all of the friends have come. It's a dance club in the clouds. There's one recommendation, though, which is don't go to the edge.
Because this is like, it falls off into a bunch of spikes.
It's Mortal Kombat, dude. It's like
Weird.
way down there. There's spikes. There's like a skeleton waiting there already who's already gone down.
This is a horrible dimension. Like why not put that club somewhere else? Like,
Treacherous dance club. Like, have fun, not too much fun.
yeah, it's like, oh, we're going to put a club where nobody would want to go because they could die.
I don't know. They went.
All right.
But Ponyhead's not worried. She flies. Like, she
Yeah.
doesn't have to worry about that. The group jump into a photo booth. We get all kinds of these fun pictures with the group, like best friends forever, or like I love you guys.
Yeah,
or,
you should tweet out some of these pictures because they're
I
pretty
should
funny.
actually. They're really fun. The group jump into the photo booth, of course, and then Star leaves, but Ponyhead and Marco are in there, and they take a few photos together. And this is where the first confrontation between Ponyhead and Marco kind of happens.
This is basically where, listen here, Marco. We are not going to be best friends because Star wanted her besties to be best friends too.
Yeah, her besties to be besties.
Yeah, to be besties.
But they didn't want to be. Or in this case, Pony didn't want to be.
Pony did not want to be.
Right.
She didn't even want to be second besties, which is awesome. Which I cracked up at that. Like, we won't even be second besties.
Right, and this is where Pony makes it entirely clear that she doesn't like him by calling him Earth Turd.
Listen, we are not gonna be besties. We are not even gonna be second besties.
Second besties? That's not even a thing.
Oh, you wanna make this a thing? Look here, Earth Turd. This night is really important to me. You mess that up, or you gonna get the horn. Got it? Good. Real good. Later!
That's his name for the remainder of the episode. So then Marco tries to approach Star on the dance floor to warn her about what Ponyhead has said to him. But of course, Ponyhead shoves him aside, pushing him to the edge of the clouds. There's a really great scene here where that skeleton comes alive and he's like, fall, fall, fall. Like, wants somebody to come hang out with him, basically. Star ends up saving Marco on the edge of the clouds here and Marco tells Star what has just happened. And Star's like, maybe it's just her dancing. Like, she dances kind of wild. Maybe that's how she knocked into you. Star also admits that Ponyhead can be kind of possessive.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is, while all this is happening, Ponyhead is dancing on someone who does not look like they want to be danced
They did
upon.
not. And she is riding him like
Like
a
a-
pony.
It's so bizarre. So they suggest going to the Amethyst Arcade instead, somewhere that Marco can probably, as a young teenager, as we were,
Loves video games.
loves video games. Why not go to the arcade? And once they leave, 3 masked men then show up there and quickly take a portal to the arcade as well. So it's like, we got to get out of here now.
But this arcade is full of squares.
Hilarious. What do you mean by that? Do you mean nerds?
Nerds at the arcade makes sense, right?
Yeah.
No, they are square
They're
characters.
They're all different squares. They are also nerds, but they're nerdy squares. That was like perfect.
It was good.
The
That's
perfect
like-
pun for this moment.
I feel like I want a show now about squares, like nerdy squares.
Like, just what would they do if you were just super square? And there's like one round guy in the town who's super cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. So Disney, if you want to let us know, we will go ahead and make
We'll
that
take
show.
care of that for you.
At the arcade, which is an awesome arcade. I know I said the arcade in Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends is awesome. This arcade's awesome. It's like in a crystal glacier. All the machines are all spiky and cool. It's really cool. Star suggests that Marco and Ponyhead play the game Lance Revolution.
This was right up your alley. I know it.
I loved this. It was so funny. Imagine a Dance Revolution, right? The game I think I've talked about on the show before, my old expert level play at this game, or what I thought was pretty decent. But Lance Revolution, instead of hitting arrows, you each have a lance, and you're just poking in midair.
It's
And it's a jousting game.
yeah, but there's no skill to it. You're just jousting virtually.
But yeah, they didn't really develop the game. I would assume that maybe there's spots on the thing you got to try to poke, maybe is what you do. But I love they did a very video gamey, pixelated, Ponyhead versus Earth Turd graphic that was a lot of fun.
Look, Lance Revolution. That's perfect. You guys go play.
Ponyhead versus Earth Turd.
Hey.
Round 1. Joust!
Yeah. Whoa, you're going down, Downer.
Oh, yeah? Well, your mother's a horse.
Okay, and your point would be? Oh, look at you two, getting along.
Ew. Ooh, I'll go get us some nice cold icicles to put on your disgusting sweaty back.
During the game, the 3 masked men that were chasing them actually appear and interrogate a Nerdy Square patron about Ponyhead's whereabouts. Ponyhead overhears them and drops her lance and has to go find Star. Star had left because they were gonna get icicles to share.
Yeah.
Because they were all sweaty.
Yeah.
Playing
But
this
then
game.
Earth Turd wins.
So he wins. He's pretty happy about this. She basically loses her game. Ponyhead goes to find Star at the icicle stand and to get her to leave the arcade, but basically lets her know, Marco went on ahead. We got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Which Star, naive as she is,
It's like, okay, makes sense.
believed at that point.
So I love their smack talk during Lance Revolution. Marco called Ponyhead's like, "Oh, your mom's a horse." She's like, "Yeah, so."
Yeah, she is. Like, it's so funny though, because it's that level of that borderline of like to an adult. It's kind of close to what you probably would say, or somebody would say to trash talk or whatever. And I was like a little uncomfortable, but I'm glad that the retort was, yeah,
So she says, "I'm a pony."
absolutely, she's a horse at this point. So they leave into another portal. We assume that Marco moved on, but he actually hasn't. He's gloating about winning this new game, notices the others are gone, and these masked men end up surrounding him.
But he starts taking on some other squares first in Lance Revolution.
Right, yeah, he's already moved on to like, who's next? Come on, that's what you do at the arcade, right? We move on to another dimension, right? We're at the Scumbucket Club, which I thought maybe was a throwback to or like a call out to SpongeBob.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Yeah. So maybe, I don't know,
the
totally
Chum-
different network though.
To
I
the
don't
Chum
know.
Bucket.
Yeah, the Chum Bucket restaurant, but I don't
I
know.
feel like it might, they all, I'm sure, have worked on those shows or know people that
Something
do,
like
so.
that, yeah. Star doesn't see Marco anywhere. They're actually crowd surfing when they're having this conversation. Pony admits, yeah, I sort of left him behind. Like, oops, I guess. This is what you were saying. This is why you go on this evening together, so one friend can leave the other supposed best friend behind.
In another dimension, who can never leave because I have the scissors.
Awful. So Star gets upset at Ponyhead, and this is where Ponyhead, I think, realizes, you start to see her not being such a party animal. She realizes how much this earth turd meant to her.
Yeah.
Basically.
Funny story. You're gonna love it. I kind of did sim and left him in the other dimension. Oops.
What?
Ah! B-side!
How could you do that to my best friend?
Best friend? Last time I checked, the best friend was me.
I can have two best friends, unless one of them is a friend-ditching liar.
That earth turd means that much to you?
He's the best turd I've ever known.
Okay.
I believe, I don't know if it's here or later, I'm not going to get it exactly right, but she says something like, didn't know that earth turd meant that much to you. And she's like, he's the best turd I've ever had. Or some line that sounds hilarious.
Which is kind of, I think, the whole reason Princess Butterfly was sent to Earth is to like almost reform and practice rather than going to this prison that we're about to get to, the school.
Yeah, St. Olga's Reform School for Wayward Princesses.
Right, so it was either go there or go to Earth and practice. So we start to see that Star is like, she's growing up and maybe caring about other people,
Yeah.
where Ponyhead doesn't give a shit. She wants to party.
Right. So back at the arcade, the masked men are now interrogating Marco. I believe they're trying to get information where Ponyhead is. They're terrible interrogators, though. They're like, oh, you're not going to talk? If I do this, flick, 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 flick. He's like, cut it out. It's annoying. Like, stop it. It's not working at all. I just love the contrast of how big and burly these masked men are, but yet they're like children. They don't know what they're
And
doing.
then what do you do? You're getting interrogated. Like, they have dimensional scissors. I'm from Earth. I didn't even know there was other dimensions until tonight. I don't know where they could go.
I don't know where I am right now.
Right. There's Earth. There's this club, the bouncy club, and the arcade. That's all I know.
About
I
life.
don't-
Yeah,
I don't know.
in the universe at all. So Star and Ponyhead actually return to rescue him. Ponyhead gives Star her dimensional scissors before she sort of gets chased by the masked men, but then Ponyhead leads them around the arcade. She kind of runs away from the masked
It's like one last hurrah. Like,
yeah, come on,
this
come
is
and
all I
get me,
got.
kind of thing. While Star unties Marco, I think there's some great magic powers here with some snakes. That was kind of hilarious. The animation again on the like snakes, I remember, like she zaps him and pulls him away, and the snakes fall in this rubbery, weird way.
Yeah,
that's
it
a
was
lot of
nice.
fun. And they corner Ponyhead, and I believe it's because Ponyhead thought she launched her like laser thing at a bunch of rocks that fall. She then smacks her face into like a wall. They capture her, or they're about to, until Marco and Star come to her aid.
And they were gonna fight off these henchmen for her.
Yeah. So before they're fought, or rather before the fight can actually break out here, King Ponyhead appears, which is a giant male version of Princess Ponyhead. I never asked the question until right now, like, why are they headless? Or why are they only heads?
Maybe that's what happens when you become in the power. Maybe that realm, you're
Right.
ponies, and then like higher up, so like we don't need these bodies.
Yep, leave them behind.
Yeah.
I need to float freely among my
Yeah.
peasants.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Ponyhead actually reveals that the reason she wanted to do all of this, she reveals, obviously because her father's there, wanted to go out and party and have fun with her friend, is that she's actually being sent to St. Olga's Reform School for Wayward Princesses and wanted one last night out with her best friend.
Right. So
Every time they bring up this school, by the way, they show that cutscene of this big haunted-looking castle
like lightning.
and a conveyor belt pulling them into the castle as they're screaming.
Yeah.
This scene's happened 3 or 4 times in many of the episodes that I've seen.
So I feel like this could be a recurring thing where she meets other princesses that she knows, or like the threat of going here. It's probably going to come up quite often, or maybe they have to save someone from there in a future episode. I don't know.
I would love to see it developed, where like you go to see all these princesses who are supposedly wayward and like, okay, why are you here? Why,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. I think that could be a really fun episode to dive into. So Star, before Ponyhead has to go, ends up thanking Ponyhead for helping save Marco, as he was left in a dimension all by himself. She acknowledges that Marco is her other bestie. She's come to terms with it. She's like, you know what? We're both your best friend. Different dimensions, whatever. There's a group hug. Oh, that's cute. And Ponyhead calls him by his real name and not Earth Turd. I just wanted to say Earth Turd one more time, really. And the men drag Ponyhead off, while King Pony has the ultimate parent thing that's just like, kids, first you want them around, and then you just really wish they weren't around.
Yeah.
Something funny like that.
Bye, Pony. I'm gonna miss you.
Hey, Ponyhead. Good luck in Princess Jail.
Aw, thanks, thank you, Marco. But don't worry about me. No jail can hold on to me for long. Woo!
Oh, kids, you have them and then you wish they weren't around.
Yay! My besties are besties.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
As he goes away. So Star is happy that Ponyhead and Marco were able to be friends. Again, she grew up. She kind of made this match herself here. And they have the scissors now, so they can go anywhere in the universe. And so where do they decide to go?
Back to Earth.
Back to Earth to eat nachos, triangle food, and sit and watch TV, which you can go anywhere in the universe. Why not at that point?
I guess you have the power to go anytime, so let's eat these nachos, and then we'll leave.
Yeah. So this was Season 1, Episode 1B, Party with a Pony. Brad, your opinion on this show, this episode, kind of how you feel about the whole thing?
Terrible. No.
Great. This has been Toon Talk Weekly. Yeah.
It was awesome. The show was fantastic. Like we said in the beginning, it looked great. I watched 4 episodes, so two episodes before parts. This was my favorite. I think just how sassy Ponyhead was, and just like her character, like whatever she said made me laugh.
Right. And I think that the only thing missing from this episode that would make it extra great is I love the villain Ludo, and I love the interaction of, it happens multiple times where he just comes, oh, you look kind of distracted. I thought I'd maybe come take your wand today. And they fight a bunch of his henchmen and stuff. I think that stuff's a lot of fun. But the idea, what I love about this episode is it goes to all these very cool dimensions, really shows the artist's strength in creating different worlds, as well as the different people who might inhabit these worlds.
Right, and the writers on that to come up with the ideas for these worlds too.
Right. So. And I think there was everyone can read whatever reviews and articles they want, but there was some comment or quote pulled from an AV Club article about the show saying that it looks great, the polish is amazing, from Disney television animation when we expect that kind of stuff, but that there might not be enough here for adults. And I gotta say, there is a ton. There's plenty, just the way things are written or worded in certain ways. There's a lot of very subtle animation things or things being used that I think us as adults think are funny situations that kids, it happens so quickly, may not pick up on, but it still looks nice. There's a scene here when, the very first scene we mentioned, when Ponyhead shows up, Marco passes out, and Star goes to help him while talking to Ponyhead. She's using Marco's hands as oh no, he's my best friend on Earth, and doing all these things, but it's not her hands. It's funny. It's like he would have to, small things like this, these tiny little attention to detail moments that I think make Star versus the Forces of Evil my new favorite show, and this happens all the time. Whoa. I don't know. I got to finish the last 2-3 episodes or something I have left. They've been a lot of fun. So
yeah, I'll definitely watch the few more I have as well, and I'll try to keep up with it. But because it's on Disney, it's harder to know when it's up and get my hands on. I guess I could buy the season pass on iTunes, but I'll just watch ads and want to watch them online.
And we're unfortunately not the kind of people that watch a ton of cartoons as they're airing on TV. We like to go find them. They're a lot easier to digest that way and that sort of thing. So I don't keep up with when it's actually on. If I had to recommend another episode for you guys, aside from, let's say, the pilot, because that's a pretty good primer.
Yeah.
It's in the third episode. I believe it's the B part. I can't remember if it's A or B now. But basically, Marco gets a tentacle arm that comes alive later, and he like uses it to fight in a karate competition. It's amazing. The show is so creative. It's a lot of fun. So check out Star vs. the Forces of Evil. It's got a glaring recommendation for sure by the Toon Talk Weekly guys here on our 100th episode. Yeah, man, I think that's going to do it. That's pretty much the show, right?
Oh, my gosh.
But let's get out of here. And before we do, Brad, where can people find out more about what you're up to?
So you can follow me on Twitter. It's @brad. And then my blog is digitalhitchhiker.com.
Great, guys. Definitely go check that out. And Brad, what about a little show called The Lane Podcast? We mentioned that here and there.
So every week, Jake, myself, and our buddy Brad Stark get together to talk about MOBAs. So League of Legends, Vainglory, Heroes of the Storm, Dota 2 sometimes.
Smite sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. And we do it live on Twitch. We also record them, so they go out on Fridays. And yeah, it's a lot of fun just to talk about video games.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So guys, check out that at thelanepodcast.com if you want to learn more about kind of what we're doing with that show. And having a lot of fun with the new weekly format, actually. It's been a lot of fun to dive into some of the genre of the game. You guys can follow me on Twitter if you would like, @JacobWilliams. And of course, my blog, jakewilliams.tumblr.com, for GIFs, illustrations, funny animations, all that good stuff. And of course, the show, all of our social media. We're on Facebook and Twitter and Google+, all as Toon Talk Weekly, so it should be fairly easy to find at this point. And, of course, our website, toontalkweekly.com, for shows, show notes, past episodes, anything like that. And if you want to get at us, our email, toontalkweekly@gmail.com, is the perfect place to send an email to us.
And, yeah, let us know how you like the video format.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And, if you want to see more of that, we have the Patreon page, or maybe we may do some other special ones just to, show you what we can offer you.
Right. We have the technology. So
we have the means.
We can do this. It's been fun doing the video show. It's definitely something I'm still totally not used to. So I'm sure I look and sound all weird and stuff. But this has been an awesome 100th episode. Before we get out of here, Brad, do you have I don't want to sit here and make a list of what's our favorite shows, right?
Okay.
But do you have a discussion that sticks out to you, or a episode you remember talking about that you just had a really good time with that you recommend people if they want to go back to the archive of Toon Talk Weekly? Anyone in particular?
Man. You know what? I liked our talk with Eric Rohn, who was on, and we talked about Phineas and Ferb.
That was a lot of fun.
I have not caught up on Phineas and Ferb or watched a lot of it, but the songs are a blast.
Yes, they're a lot of fun. And it was great having Eric there, who was able to say, actually, this character, shows up later, and having that experience. I think I ran into the same thing with having Chris Schmidt on was really great, who was really knowledgeable in our reboot episode, but helping us through. So those have been a lot of fun. Definitely want to try to get more people on. I just got to schedule it.
But so those were both with somebody, but you and I, we're the stars of this show.
Oh.
We're the princess stars of this show. What's the episode that's just us that you're going to go way back?
It's way back, but people are going to think this is totally stupid because I selfishly think it's funny because I put myself in this headspace to make it really funny. And that was, I think episode 4 we did Transformers, or one of them.
Okay.
We had this conversation about the stupid giant crater and this meteor, and how all these Transformers were oh, that's powerful. We should use that powerful. And
oh yeah,
that was weird. And then also how the wheelchair kid
just rolls around super fast,
over terrain and stuff. It was just such a bizarre show that we broke down that I always remember that conversation was a lot of fun.
Okay, yeah, that was a good one.
So if you want to check out some old ones, those are some of our favorites for sure. There's plenty more. It's episode 100. I wouldn't be remiss if I didn't mention don't listen to the Bobby's World episode. It's just not very, we gotta, if we had a least favorite show, I think that's our go-to at this point.
Right.
But
Pepper Ann's up there.
Oh boy. You can't love them all. That's kind of what we realize here with Toon Talk Weekly. So that's going to do it for this week's episode. Next week, I am not going to reveal the show because still working out a little thing, but I think we might have a special guest who is fairly knowledgeable about a certain show that I think people have wanted us to cover for quite a while.
And kicked off maybe the whole idea for this podcast.
The whole reason for the show. So that'll be an interesting discussion if that happens. If it's not next week, look forward maybe 2 weeks. We're just trying to work out some schedule stuff. So should get that. But this has been 100, holy crap, episodes of Toon Talk Weekly. Almost 2 years. of the show. We want to thank everyone for supporting, for listening, for, in this case, watching the show. We have a lot of fun doing this every week.
For sure, yeah.
This is weird. I want to cry a little bit or something. It's just so
We're not even going. We're going to be back next week with another cartoon.
Remember when Jake cried last week? But this has been a great episode of Toon Talk Weekly. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week with another cartoon.
Later, Earth Turds.
To learn more about the show, visit toontalkweekly.com or follow us on Twitter @ToonTalkWeekly.